What's going on everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Noman and today's analysis video is going to be about the Community Shield game between Liverpool and Manchester City. So Man City lined up in a 4-3-3 formation and Raheem Sterling was used as a false 9. And they shifted to their normal 2-3-2-3 formation with possession. Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva once again tried to attack the half spaces while the fullbacks moved in the midfield and tried to play as inverted fullbacks. While Liverpool, on the other hand, also lined up in their normal 4-3-3 formation, which at times shifted to 4-2-3-1, with Mohamed Salah moving to the central position and Wijnaldum pushing up from the midfield to occupy the right wing position, and Firmino at times dropped to the number 10 spot. Liverpool started the game in their normal aggressive high-pressing style of football to disturb Manchester City's build-up. But Man City have mastered the art of playing out from the back, and they were often able to break Liverpool's high press with their short one-touch passing. Liverpool's aggressive high press deep in Manchester City's half, but the pressing was not done as a unit, and thus Manchester City were easily able to build their play through De Bruyne. John Stones to De Bruyne to Kyle Walker, and Man City's attack is on. Now just look at the numbers advantage for Manchester City. They have so many players in their favour to attack Liverpool's backline. Man City are one of the best in Europe when it comes to building out from the back. The players are given free roles to move around and create passing lanes. Bravo is almost playing like an outfield player, and his position has given Manchester City the numerical advantage. Man City have the numbers advantage on both sides, and every Man City player has 2 passing options available. Using the goalkeeper as an outfield player to get numerical advantage in the build-up phase, and Rodri now has so much space and time to turn with the ball and start Manchester City's attack. One very interesting part in Manchester City's build-up was the positions of their centre-backs. John Stones has moved in the midfield to make a double pivot with Rodrigo. Firmino cannot provide cover shadow to 2 different players at the same time. Mohamed Salah and Origi can also not come closer, as that would leave the wide passing options open. Firmino tried to cover John Stones, and that left Rodrigo totally open. John Stones immediately signals Bravo to play the pass to Rodrigo. Man City once again used the same attacking approach which they have been using very successfully from the last 2 seasons under Pep Guardiola. They once again kept both their wingers wide to pull the opposition fullbacks out and to create gaps in the half spaces for the runs of De Bruyne and David Silva. See the position of Kevin De Bruyne. He is moving in the half space while Bernardo Silva is holding his wide position to pull Andy Robertson out. Andy Robertson steps out to cover Bernardo Silva, who plays a simple pass in the path of Kevin De Bruyne. The issue for the fullbacks with this approach is that they don't know whether to step out to cover the wide wingers or stay narrow and cover the attacking midfielders, and this leaves them totally confused. This time Arnold has decided to move narrow to stay close to David Silva, and that has left Sterling free on the left flank. Arnold moves narrow and John Stones plays a pass to Sterling in the open space. This is where the fullbacks need support from the midfield. The midfielders need to drop back in the defensive line and provide defensive cover to the fullbacks. But unfortunately for Liverpool, the fullbacks were not getting any protection from the midfield. Bernardo Silva once again tries to pull the fullback out, and Kevin De Bruyne is once again ready to exploit the same space. Henderson checks his shoulder and he can see De Bruyne making the run in the space. Henderson checked his shoulder, saw De Bruyne's run, and now instead of tracking De Bruyne's run, Henderson is trying to make a signal to Van Dijk, who is miles away from De Bruyne, to track De Bruyne's run. Milner did this job brilliantly last season when Liverpool played against Manchester City, but Henderson unfortunately couldn't replicate that role. This attacking approach of Manchester City has one downside as well. When De Bruyne and David Silva push up from the midfield to attack, the City fullbacks replace them in the midfield, and they play as inverted fullbacks. But at the same time, they also leave spaces open on the wide areas, and Liverpool often tried to use Mohamed Salah and Origi to exploit those wide spaces. Kyle Walker has moved in the midfield, and Origi now has so much space to attack Manchester City's backline. Again, big space behind the inverted fullback, and this time Mohamed Salah makes a run in the space. Man City scored the first goal of the game from a very nicely worked set piece. Very nicely organised defensive line from Liverpool, but things go wrong when Manchester City decide to go with an indirect free kick. The centre-backs are still pushing up to play the offside trap, but Mohamed Salah starts to move in the opposite direction, and this is where things go wrong for Liverpool. The defensive line pushed up while Mohamed Salah moved in the opposite direction, and thus Mohamed Salah was clearly playing De Bruyne onside. And this brings us to another issue that Liverpool faced throughout the game: offside trap and long passes. Liverpool were only able to play the offside trap 3 times during this game, and Man City played 65 long passes, and most of those long passes were played behind Liverpool's high defensive line. And Liverpool failed to play the offside trap time and time again. Long pass behind Liverpool's high defensive line, and Liverpool failed to play the offside trap. Liverpool once again failed to play the offside trap, and Sterling had a very good chance to make it 2-0 for Manchester City. Even though Liverpool had issues to play the offside trap, but they were still able to limit the damage through Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez often tried to use his pace to get back and limit any damage. Kevin De Bruyne was able to break the offside trap, but Joe Gomez had enough pace to get back and stop the attack. Even though Joe Gomez had the pace to get back and stop most of the attacks, but going forward, Liverpool will definitely have to work on their offside trap. The score at halftime was 1-0, but Liverpool came out really strong in the second half. Liverpool changed their formation from 4-3-3 to 4-2-4. Liverpool kept a double pivot of Wijnaldum and Fabinho in the midfield, while Henderson pushed up to join the front line. Liverpool shifting to 4-2-4 with a double pivot of Wijnaldum and Fabinho, while Henderson is now a part of Liverpool's front line. This one simple change in Henderson's position made a lot of difference in terms of Liverpool's offensive play. Henderson did a very good job of finding spaces in between the lines and making himself available as the link between Liverpool's midfield third and the final third. Henderson drops in between the lines to receive the pass from Wijnaldum. Once again, Salah pulls the fullback out, and Henderson makes a run behind the fullback. Liverpool also started to shift to a back 3 in the second half, especially during the build-up phase. Wijnaldum drops in the defensive line to make it back 3 during the build-up phase, and that gave Robertson and Joe Gomez the chance to push up and attack even more. Liverpool had some really good chances to finish the game, but they were very unlucky, and they hit the woodwork 3 times. And one man who deserves special appreciation is Kyle Walker. If it wasn't for his 93rd minute clearance, Man City wouldn't have won the trophy. Overall, it was a great game of football for the neutrals, as both the teams played some really exciting football, and Man City were somehow still able to maintain their domestic dominance. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.